Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Bharat, songs every Guru, Shimad, His Divine Grace, Srila Isi Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Every Bhakti Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thakur Bhakti Vinod Ki Jai. Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga Gopremananda Hari Ho. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Timrandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurunnitam Yena Tasmam Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sabidam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadanti Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Ukta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vishnavangsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaganaram Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarvadutam Prijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vidam He Krishna Karana Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vishabhanu Sudadevi Pranamami Priye Chika Pacharoviyasta Kripa Sindhu Devacha Padinanam Bhavnibhyo Vaishnava Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Jugadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, translation and commentary as it is by Srila Prabhupada. Today's verse number 3, chapter 1. So please repeat. Pashyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudham Draupada Putrena Tavashishena Dhimata Pashyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahitim Chamum Yudham Draupada Putrena Tavashishyena Dhimata Pasyatam Panduputranam Acharya Mahitim Chamum Putrena Tavashishyena Dhimata. Mahitim Chamum Shena Dhimata Pasyatam Panduputranam Acharya Mahitim Chamum Yudham Draupada Putrena Tavashishyena Dhimata Pashyaitam Pandaputranam Acharya Mahitim Chamum Yudham Draupada Putrena Tavashishyena Dhimata Pashyaitam Pandaputranam. No. Tavashishyena Dhimata. Okay. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Pashyaitam Pandaputranam Acharyam Chamum Yudham Drupada Putrena Tavashishyena Dhimata. Okay, word for word. Please repeat. Pasya. Behold. Etam. This. Panduputranam. Of the sons of Pandu. Acharya. O teacher. Mahatim. Great. Chamum. Military force. Vyudham. Arrange. Drupada Putrena. By the son of Drupada. Tava. Your. Shishyena. Disciple. Dhimata. Very intelligent. Translation to the Prabhupada. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Please repeat. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Purport Srila Prabhupada. Duryodhana, a great diplomat, wanted to point out the defects of Drona Acharya, the great Brahmana commander-in-chief. Yeah, he was the teacher of all the Pandavas and all that. He was a big Brahmin, but he was teaching the Kshatriyas everything. Dronacharya had some political quarrel with King Drupada, the father of Draupadi, who was Arjuna's wife. As a result of this quarrel, Drupada performed a great sacrifice, by which he received the benediction of having a son who would be able to kill Dronacharya. Dronacharya knew this perfectly well. So that's very Drupada is not very intelligent, is he? He wanted to kill Dronacharya. such a great acharya, very dangerous mentality. Dronacharya knew this perfectly well, and yet, as a liberal Brahmana, he did not hesitate to impart all his military secrets to the son of Drupada. The son of Drupada. Dhristadyumna was entrusted to him for military education. When the son of Drupada, Dhristadyumna, was entrusted to him for military education. Now, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Dhristadyumna took the side of the Pandavas, and it was he who arranged for their military phalanx, after having learned the art from Dronacharya. Duryodhana pointed out this mistake of Dronacharya's so that he might be alert and uncompromising in the fighting. By this he wanted to point out also that he should not be similarly lenient in battle against the Pandavas, who were also Dronacharya's affectionate students. Arjuna especially was his most affectionate and brilliant student. Dronacharya also warned that it's different in this book. I don't know. The editing, I don't know. He wanted to point out also that he should not be similarly lenient in battle against the Pandavas. Who is this? Who should not be lenient? Yeah. Who were also Dronacharya's affectionate students. Arjuna especially was his most affectionate and brilliant student. Duryodhana also warned that such leniency in the fight would lead to defeat. Yes, so it's a little complicated. You're all very familiar with the stories of the Mahabharata, yeah? Mahabharata, the great story of India, the fifth Veda. Yeah, well, we'll just finish. Pashyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahitim Chamum Yujam Drupada Putrena Tava Shishena Dimata. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. So he was putting the pressure, right? Makam karojiva chalam pongam latere yarpipatamaham vande Sri Guru Nitsaranam. So, of course, everyone knows Bhagavad Gita is one chapter in the Mahabharata. Have you read Mahabharata? I read most of it. So it tells all these stories in detail. Draupadi, he had a daughter, Draupadi. Arjuna went for the Swayamvara. You know, the Kshatriyas, they would compete for the beautiful wife. And of course, Arjuna won. And then he took back his wife after some discussion, back to see his mother. Who is his mother? Kunti, yes, beautiful Kunti. So he was coming, and Kunti called out, or something like, "Who is coming? Oh, it's me, mother. It's Arjuna, your son. And I've brought you something very wonderful," meaning Draupadi. So Queen Kunti, she didn't want the brothers fighting. If one has something beautiful, then the others may become a little jealous or something. She didn't know it was Draupadi. So she called back as Arjuna was coming round the corner or something. She said, "Be sure to share with your brothers." So that's how they got married, because my mother has said this, she's a great sadhvi, so I must act according to her instruction. So that's how Draupadi got 5 husbands, because if the order of the mother you cannot say. Do you understand? Arjuna called out, "Mother, I'm coming, I've brought something wonderful," meaning Draupadi. And then the mother said back, "Be sure to share with your brothers." Normally you don't share a wife with your brothers, but in this case, actually in the Vedas, there's nothing against having more than one husband or more than one wife. It's interesting. In fact, I have read that the Kshatriyas were encouraged to have more than one child and more than one wife because they had good genes. They were smart, intelligent, trained up. So they were encouraged to have more than one wife. Interesting point. So it's interesting. In the Mahabharata, it explains that how they would sleep together. In the forest, they would sleep. Let me get it right. Queen Kunti would sleep at the head of the five Pandavas. Queen Kunti would sleep like this. This is east, and the five Pandavas would sleep here, look towards north. Because if you sleep with your head towards north, you get some Shakti, so they say. And then Draupadi would sleep at the feet of her husbands with her head to the east, like Queen Kunti. So Queen Kunti, the mother, to be respected, was at the top, five Pandavas, and then Draupadi. She wasn't American. If she was American, she would want to. Only joking. Americans are wonderful. Uh, so they lived in the forest like that. And Draupadi, she served her husband. Queen Kunti was respected by everyone. Uh, so the Pandavas lived like that in the forest, seeing everything as a Krishna's mercy. In the Bhagavatam, it explains Queen Kunti says to Krishna after the battlefield, he says, Queen Kunti says to Krishna, now you are putting us on the throne, but we will not see you so much because you will be in Dwarka. So what kind of victory is this? So it's better that all these calamities come again and again, because when we had these problems, you would come to see us, and we were happy. So that is very instructional. So the Mahabharata is very instructional. Vedanta Krit Veda Vid Eva Chaham, right? The Vedas, what is the purpose of the Veda? It is to know Krishna. Why? Because if we know Krishna, Janma Karma Tame Divyam, Evam Yovati Tatvata. If you know the birth and activities of Krishna in truth, that means you've realized it. Then Takva Deham Punarjanma Naitimam. You will never take birth again. Huh? So this is a very central point of Krishna consciousness. As we are sadhakas, the first point, beginning and end of Krishna consciousness, is to realize Krishna. Savepam samparo bhaktir, yato bhaktir, adhoksidya. But we must first point is to understand that Krishna is not a person of this material modes where people are maneuvering and so on, but he is transcendental person. So adhoksidya, divyam, that's why janmakama to make divyam, divine, transcendental. So if we realize transcendental quality, then, and we remember at the time of leaving this body, even if your susumna is very good or bad, you have to leave this body. So then you will go to Krishna. Krishna will just take you. So that is the central point to remember. Why are we studying Gita? Why are we studying Bhagavatam? Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Chaitanya Bhagavat, all these great scriptures. Why? Central point is understand Krishna. And then if you understand Krishna, we've said this 100 times, if you understand Krishna, then you know your relationship automatically, because we are part and parcel of Krishna. So then you're ready to go. So you don't take birth directly in the spiritual world. Many people have that. They're not properly informed. You will take birth where Krishna's Bhoma Leela is manifest. There are many, 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 many universes, and Krishna's Leela is being manifest in different stages in each universe. So when a devotee is qualified to go to the spiritual world by realizing Krishna, then he will take birth at that point in a particular universe where Krishna's Leela is going on. He will take birth in the family of Brajbasi. He'll have a mother and father. He'll take birth, and that will be their identity in the spiritual world. Now, just imagine, say I go to the spiritual world all of a sudden. It's not likely to happen, but but I go there and they say, "Hello, who are you?" Well, I'm me. Who's your mother and father? Mother and father? I just came from Bharatvash. I don't have mother and father. What? You don't? So you see, so you take birth in the Bhoma Leela where people are taking birth to join in Krishna's Bhoma Leela. Bhoma Leela means earthly Leela because everywhere is place of Krishna. So the spiritual world is there, the Bhoma Leela, and Krishna's having pastimes everywhere. Everything is the place for Krishna and devotees to have pastimes. So if you take birth there, you have a family. You understand? That's your eternal family in the spiritual world. You get a mother and father, just like in this world. To take birth in this world, you must have mother and father. To take birth in the spiritual world, you have mother and father. And that becomes part of your eternal identity. It's interesting, huh? So that's described in all the Shastras. It's in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavad, all like that. All the Shastras explain. But that is very, very esoteric idea, taking birth in the Bhoma Leela. And then you're qualified to go to Goloka. And you can also continue in the Bhoma Leela. Because a devotee, by grace of Krishna, he can take different forms to engage in different Leela. For example, it's stated in the Shastra that if somebody realizes Krishna and Lord Chaitanya, and in the period of sadhana he realizes Lord Chaitanya, he'll take one birth in Chaitanya Leela and another birth in Krishna Leela eternally. So that's something to look forward to, right? Next time you can't get out of bed in the morning, you should inspire yourself. Oh, I'm going to have eternal life. And this year is Purushottam Mass, right? So what should we do during Purushottam Mass? What does one mean? 1 lakh every day, if you can. 1 lakh. Actually, 1 lakh is 57.87 rounds. 58 rounds is 1 lakh. But normally in our Sampradaya, people chant 64. But actually, technically, it's 58, 57.8 or something. So we should consider now, May is start of Purushottam Mass, right? Next Sunday. Yes. Huh? Coming Sunday, yeah. So we should think what I can do. We may not be able to do 1 lakh because of service or this and that, but we should have a plan. Oh, Purushottam Mass. Because Kartik Mass, they say, is 1,000 times more potent, special benediction. If you do tapasya and bhakti in Purushottam Mass, it's very potent. But 1,000 times more than that is, yes, is Purushottam Mass, Purushottam. So that means it's 1,000,000 times more potent. So 1,000 times 1,000, just imagine. So we should make a plan, and then we can make some bhakti sukriti, some devotional credit. We shouldn't miss the chance. So anyway, that's another point. So anyway, here, the Gita, it's part of Mahabharata. And how did the Mahabharata appear? People know the story. Vedavyas was not, he compiled all the Vedas, split them into four. It's at the beginning of Bhagavatam. Then the original Veda was Atava. It was called the Atava Veda. Veda means knowledge. It was put into four. So in one conversation, Prabhupada is asked by one person in the darshan, said, how old are the Vedas? Prabhupada says, old. First of all, knowledge, Veda means knowledge. Knowledge has no age. And secondly, uh, it's always eternal. It's the knowledge of the spiritual and material world. So if you have that, then what is the center point of that is to realize Krishna. So therefore, that is a simple point to understand, because the one mistake some Vaishnava groups make is that they meditate upon themselves. I want to be a gopi, so I meditate I'm a gopi. I want to be a cowherd boy, so I meditate I'm a cowherd boy. But actually, the thing is, we've discussed this, right? You have a constitutional form that is there. That is your swarup, your own spiritual form. So you don't have to create a spiritual form by imagination. It's there, inherent. Remember, what are the three things constitutional to the soul? No. First, no. Jivera Swarupoi Nichera Krishnada. Oh, that's what you were trying to say, right? You were saying that. Okay. Yeah, that we are constitutionally servant. Prabhupada explains we're constitutionally servant, and therefore, even in this world, we are serving the wife, we're serving the children, we're serving the nation, we're serving the community. We're always doing some service. And the second point, what is the mood of that service? Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sare. Yeah. So that is constitutional. That is also within the soul, just like the tree is within the seed. So constitutionally. And then Swarup. What is that verse? Huh? Yeah, that you can use that sloka. That would be okay. But the main thing idea is that you are also what Swarup, and there. Oh yes, you are constitutionally in a relationship. It's not that you are an impersonal spirit soul with no personality or quality. That you have inherently uh, the nature of service, the nature of prem, and the nature of your spiritual swarup. It's there contained. And they will blossom when you realize Krishna. You understand? Just like in the morning. Krishna says in the Gita, when the sun comes up, everything is revealed. So when you realize Krishna, you realize your own relationship. But how can you realize your relationship with Krishna if you don't know Krishna? Right? So this is the point of the Gita. Now here, and the Mahabharata, Vedavyas made them into Rig, Yajur, or Samaveda. Samaveda is the different. And each Veda has four different parts. Samhitas, accumulation of prayers. Then Brahmanas, that means different yagyas. Then Aranyakyas. Aranyakyam is a discussion between guru and disciple on how to perform yagyas, different yagyas. Because the Vedas, they give different yagyas by which we can reestablish our relationship with Krishna. So what is the yagya for Kali Yuga? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Sadhu Sangha Bhagavatam, specially empowered. So this is the purpose. Very simple thing. But the foundation is living a pure life. Every building like this has a foundation. Now the foundation is not the building, but without the foundation, can you have a building? No. So the foundation of awakening to your relationship with Krishna, and when we say Krishna, we mean Krishna and Krishna's devotees in all rasa. The foundation has to be built, but it is not the building itself. It is So many people follow regulative principles in the hospital, but they're not getting Krishna Prem. So it's the foundation, and then the house of bhakti can be built on top. So, but without a foundation, it's very hard to advance. Say you're drinking all the time. You cannot advance just by chanting. So you have to perform tapasya in purity. And then it's very easy to advance, very easy. And so how can you maintain purity? Any idea? Shastra. Sadhu Sangha, Sava Shastra Hoy. Yeah, if you have your own idea. But in all the Shastra, that's why Prabhupada said many times, ISKCON is for devotees to make Sadhu Sangha, so they can live a spiritual life separate from the Kali Yuga that's going on. So here, it's interesting. This is setting the scene. The Mahabharata, therefore, so the four Vedas are there. The Samhitas, the prayers, the Yagyas, how to do it, the Aranyakyas. And then the Upanishads, that's the fourth part of every Veda has Upanishads. Upanishads means upa, preparation for the transcendental. So there's also that verse. The Vedas mainly deal with the three modes: Trigunya, Vishya, Veda, Nistrigunya, Bhavadhyana, Nirvanvo, Nitvasattva, Niryoga, Shema, Atman. The Vedas mainly deal with the three modes of material nature. Arjuna, rise above these modes and become established in the self, the spiritual self, meaning become established in Vaikuntha. That is Krishna's Arjuna. And that is done by sadhana bhakti under sadhu sangha. So this is very important. Sadhu sangha helps us to maintain purity. If you don't associate nicely with devotees, then you will have problems, because we are conditioned. Your material conditioning will become active. So here we see what the material world is. So therefore, just to finish this point, so Vedavyas wrote the Mahabharata, and that is called the fifth Veda, because in the Mahabharata there is all these very technical things, discussion, disciples, and this, and morality and philosophical. But the Mahabharata is in story form, so in Kali Yuga, people like stories, in every Yuga, but the stories illustrate many intelligent, important points. So here, the Mahabharata, this verse, behold the great army, the sun so expertly arranged by the, here, Duryodhana is using his political skill. He's trying to gain. But who won the battle of Mahabharata? Yes, of course. So this, sometimes the demons always think they will win. Ravana always thinks I'll win, but they always fail. So even though in our society sometimes, this person did that, he shouldn't do that, and these things may happen, we should understand this is the material world. Many things happen, many people have problems, but those that take shelter of Krishna, Param Vrijayate, Shri Krishna, Sankirtanan, you'll be successful. You don't have to worry. ISKCON will carry on. I was just chanting in the temple there, and you see everyone dancing, and the children are happy, and the men are dancing here, the women. And so this is Lord Chaitanya's movement. Dance, chant, happy, take prasad, live a pure life. That's the foundation. And don't be a political person like Duryodhana trying to pass. There's also, this is the beginning of Mahabharata. Look, I'll just read the earlier verses so you get the picture. Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra, Samaveda, right? Dhritarashtra said, "O Sanjay, after my sons and sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight. What did they do? Arjuna wasn't desiring to fight. That's interesting. But anyway, that's the book. Sanjay said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in the military formation by the sons of Panu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. So he was a bit nervous, you see, because these are great Kshatriyas. And also the Duryodhana, his expansion of Kali Yuga, that is also in Shastra. So his demoniac nature. So in their heart, the demons know that I'm going to be punished, that I'm going to lose, that there's a reaction. Generally, the atheistic people, they think, oh, there's no God, so now I'm free to do anything I like. Huh? And there's no need for morality. Morality, I'll make it convenient to my situation. Right? They think like this. So there's no foundation. You see my point? There's no foundation for judging this is good or bad. But the Vedas give that foundation. They give duty to your father, to your mother, to your children, to your society. And Krishna encourages that, right? Arjuna, you have a duty. You have a duty to your brother. You cannot just leave the battlefield, right? So all these points are illustrated practically in the Mahabharata. Whereas in the Vedas, I can't present, I've read a little bit of translations, but they are more theoretical in that part. But in the Mahabharata, all the stories are there. And if you read Mahabharata, you just get caught up. You know, it's a huge book. 100,000 verses, is it? Or 1 million? There is the number of verses. So Duryodhana here, he was feeling a bit nervous. And also, Prabhupada writes, you know, the first verse is Dharma Kshetre Kura Kshetre. So Dharma Kshetra is referring to where? Huh? Kurukshetra, yeah. Kurukshetra. So that was known as a Dharma Kshetra, holy place. So generally, the demons, they're very weak in a holy place. They can't express their demoniac nature. So, and they become thoughtful. But because they cannot surrender to a life of purity, they have, it's called learning the hard way. Did your father tell you when you were a child? Don't do this, don't do that. No, I want to do it, Daddy. Okay, learn the hard way, right? Experience is a great teacher, they say. So this is the important point. So Mahabharata teaches us, don't do this, don't do this. And if you don't believe in God, if you're atheist, then you don't believe in eternal soul. You don't believe in karma. You don't believe that anything is of any consequence. So why will you be moral? Why will you be dutiful? You'll eat meat. You'll eat the cow. You'll have abortion. You'll take unlimited in. Why? Because I'm going to die anyway, right? So the foundation of human society is a good understanding. Janma karma tame divyam evam yog. You should adhoksija. This is the magic word. Transcendental position of the Lord. We read about Krishna and we want to Janma karma tame divyam. We want to understand that. But the first point is we're studying a transcendental person. We're not studying Duryodhana or somebody of this world. We're reading in the Bhagavatam about these transcendental devotees and the Supreme Lord. They are different consciousness. So Duryodhana is a bit nervous here in the second verse. Here in the third verse, it comes out more. He said, look, but actually it is said that on Duryodhana's side, there were 11 Akshahinis, and on 7 on the other side. So they were at a disadvantage. And why were more on the the Duryodhana side? There's a good story. Many people know, some don't. But after Krishna and Arjuna discussed, Arjuna was ready. Okay, Tamabachanam. I'm ready to Krishyate. I'm ready to act according to your instructions, Krishna. I'm fired up. So, but then he went back. But then Yudhisthira got down from his chariot and he walked across the battlefield, the gap between the armies. And he went to Bhishma. You know, Bhishma is actually expansion of not Vayu, was it? Huh? Sorry? Vasu, yeah, he's one of yeah, he's anyway great personality in the spiritual world. And he said, look, and everyone was looking, what's happened? Arjuna's going to fight now. Maybe Yudhisthira won't fight, right? So everyone is, what's happening? So Bhishma walked across and said, Bhishma, you are the leader of our family, of our Gotra, so I cannot fight you without permission, without your blessing. He didn't say that, but without your permission. So Bhishma said, actually, your cause is correct. You should, meaning implying Duryodhana is not acting correctly. Your cause is correct. And I should fight for you. But I have been taking support from the treasury of Duryodhana. He's the king. He's giving me my palace, my servants, and fooding, and this and that. So now that he's fighting, I'm obliged to fight on his side. And so, but your cause, and you have my blessing, your cause is correct. So this is a very important point. And then explain Mahabharata. Then he went to different great personalities, his superiors, like Drishtadyumna and so on and so on. And he asked for permission to fight. You know, when you were a young boy and you were angry with your dad, did you say, Daddy, can I argue with you? No. So, but in the this is Vedic. This is what I'm saying. The Mahabharata illustrates this, and a big point in human society is to give respect to your elders. You know, your teacher, your mother, your father, your elder brother, even your elder sister, whatever. Your elders should be respected because they are experienced. They have a lot of knowledge through life. So that is one of the points. So he went in that way. Then they went back and had the battle. So it's terrible, and millions died. It's amazing. Have you been to Kurukshetra? Yeah, yeah. Been a no, yeah, because, I was born actually on Gita Jayanti at 5:36 in the morning, same time as the conversation. But I was in a different place, and 5,000 years later. So I don't know if it counts. So that's interesting, right? Gita Jain, and that's also called Mukshida Economy because it's giving moksha. Oh, that's another sloka, important sloka. I think it's second canto. Muktir hitavanyata rupam swarupena. Who's saying this? You. You're saying complete. Swarupena vastati. Yeah, that's right. That what is mukti? Mukti is not liberation from the material energy, the three modes. Mukti means to be established swarupena of avashtati. So that's swarupena. Again, that word, swarup. Established in your own relationship with the Supreme Lord. That is mukti. Mukti is not just freedom from Maya Shakti. So Muktirhitavanyata rupan swarupena bhastiti. So this is the beginning of the mark. It sets the whole tone. And you can see that Duryodhana is a bit nervous. And this is the thing. Because you see, the demoniac, they do bad things. But in the heart, Krishna, Paramatma, is giving a hint. We call it conscience, right? I want to steal your wallet. But Krishna in the heart says, don't do that. That he doesn't say, but you get the feeling, right? You get the feeling, I shouldn't do that. I want to speak badly about this person. But Krishna says, no, don't do that. So Krishna is in the heart of everyone. He's trying to guide everyone. And an interesting point on this is Krishna is Atma Atma. So Krishna is the soul of the soul. Just think about that. We think the soul is the center of the body, but the center of the soul itself is Krishna. Krishna is inside the soul. You know that verse, Matak Parataram Nanyat Kinchidas. Everything is resting upon Krishna. So the soul is resting upon Krishna. Krishna is pervading the soul. So when we, in the material world, Krishna is always trying to give us good advice. Do this, don't do that. And he's always trying to, Prakashante Mahatman, he's always trying to give us understanding. So this is an important point. So we should understand this attitude of Krishna to us as sadhakas. And we should pray, Krishna, give me some prem, give me some realization. You see? Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada, he wrote in an essay once, and he used to say in his lectures, we have read from Prabhupada, that he said, we have opened a crying school. A crying school. That means we're crying. The sadhaka, the Siddha Bhakta is in ecstasy, but the sadhaka is advised, cry from some, cry, be sincere. Lolam, right? Lobha. Don't just, I'm not saying you, but one shouldn't recite mantra mechanically, but one should have that. And that Krishna will give. He will awaken prem. So these are all very important points that we chant with an attitude of, oh, please give me a little kripa, right? Mosamo patita. What's that one? Yeah. Napaive ara. Right? Aha Prabhu Nityananda, Premananda Suke. You are always in bliss, Lakshmananda. Please give me a little bliss. So this is the advice of the acharyas. You see, we're desiring to go to Adhoksija, the transcendental world, or we are just being half asleep and we're carrying on in material life. So by sadhu sangha, so it means that the sadhu gives us inspiration. If I chant and I have a pure life, I'll develop Krishna prema. That's why sadhu sangha is so powerful, because it plants the seed of desire, shraddha. Oh, this sadhu, he is special. I want to understand, what has he got? What is it? So this is a very important point. Sadhu sangha. But that sadhu sangha, so Bhakti Vinod in Chaitanya Shikshamrita, he writes on this point. Sometimes people say, where is that Mahabhagavat? Where is that sadhu, that that great person who is fully transcended the modes? Bhakti Vinod says you shouldn't lament. You should read the books of the great sadhus, because what is more important, Vapu or Vani, right? The Vapu is giving the Vani. So yes, Prabhupada may have gone to Krishna Lila. Yes, very nice. But he's left all this instruction. Same thing with Bhakti Siddhanta, Bhakti Vinod. They're giving all this intelligence. So one shouldn't lament and think, where is that Mahabhagavat? One should. That's why all the great acharyas And sadhus, they write commentary to explain. And if you read Bhakti Vinod, Bhakti Siddhanta, Bhakti Vedanta, you will see they're all saying the same thing, but in their own way, you see, because they're describing reality. They're describing Krishna, who's really there. It's not an imagination, right? There one person. He wasn't a devotee, but he was a kind of big philosopher. He was he is a devotee, but he once wrote that the atheists say that the theistic people who believe in God, they have invented God because they're scared of the world. They're scared of the dark. Just like when we're children, uh, we're sleeping at night. Sometimes some children are nervous. You have to put a little light on them. They're scared of the dark. And then he wrote back, this Christian philosopher. He said, no, atheists have become atheists because they're scared of the light. The atheists say we're scared of the dark and we've invented God. But we say, no, you have invented the idea there's no God because you're scared of the light. You want to return, you want to sit in the darkness. You want to sit in the, so you're making all these ideas, there's no God, even though through all history, every society, people have talked about some supreme designer, some supreme personality. Ah. This is the important part. So that's the Mahabharata and that's the Gita. So the Krishna, this is the important point. So just like I said, the Mahabharata has the Brahmanas, Yagyas, the Aranyakyas, how to perform them, and the discussion, and so on. And they have the Upanishads. Because the Upanishads, like I said earlier, they teach us that, okay, perform yajna for this, perform yajna so you get a good husband, for your daughter Draupada, perform a yajna, you know. So these yajnas have potency. They can affect they're karmic. They can bring good karma to you, just like bad activity will bring bad karma to you, right? So if you perform a good pious yajna, then the devas will give you this. But Trigonia Vishya Veda, this Trigonia, don't get hung up on this material energy. The Upanishads point to Brahman, above the modes, and they tell us this is what you should be looking at. Do your material duties, family, society, and so on, but your real fixation should be adhoksija. Save pumsam yato bhaktir adhoksija. And two words, ahoitiki, unbroken, without material motivation, yenatma. So yes, this is so important, this sloka. You can see how Bhagavatam expands the Vedic idea. And then you will realize the Supreme Lord. Ahoitiki means unbroken. That means you shouldn't just do it on Sunday. You should do it Chobis Ganta, right? It should be your full-time engagement. So that's why you should live in ashram generally with sadhus, associate closely, get their inspiration. So this is very important. And then at uh, what is the ahoitiki apratiyata? Ahoitiki means, sorry, causeless. Apratiyata means unbroken. Ahoitiki means without material motivation, that I want to profit personally, right? That I want to have some material benefit. That will come by Krishna's arrangement. But you shouldn't have that as a motivation. Your motivation should be just, I'm making a nice plate of fruit, Krishna. I'm chanting mantra. Please enjoy this fruit, right? My motivation is the pleasure of Krishna. So in the spiritual, we've talked about this 3 weeks ago. The spiritual world, people are not philosophers. Why are they not philosophers? It's explained. The gopis are not philosophers, but they've got something higher than philosophy. Krishna prema. So in the spiritual world, people are not philosophically thinking, I'm going to offer this to Krishna without motivation. They're not thinking like that. Draupadi, Radharani, the Gop, they're not thinking, I have to act without motivation. No, they are situated in ecstasy. They're situated in ecstasy. They're situated in Swarup, so that they are naturally acting in this way. So when Uddhava went to see the gopis taking message from Krishna, he saw the ecstasy of the gopis. This is above philosophical understanding. But it's Upanishads, they give us intelligence and direction to look for the transcendental. But the transcendental, where is it? In the heart. So Krishna is the transcendental Lord of the soul. So we don't have to go anywhere, or we can, for meditation purposes, imagine that Goloka is there. But also there in the, if you read Uddhava Gita chapter 9, there's a meditation there, and it explains that you should make a lotus of the heart, and then starting with the feet, you should start with the form of Krishna, and you should create that in your mind, manasik murti, and then when you come to the face of smiling face of Krishna, you should expand that murti so that the whole universe and the whole creation is within that manasik murti, because everything is within Krishna. And then you should hold that in your heart. You should so that Krishna is everything, and Krishna is fully within the heart, because there's no distinction of here and there, or time, yesterday or tomorrow, in the material spiritual world. The spiritual world, there's no time and space as we understand it. In the spiritual world, everyone can sit next to Krishna on the bank of the Jamuna, right? I was just reading Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He's written a book. This was 3 days ago, Bhajan Rahasya. And in that book it says Bhajan Rahasya. It says Rahasya is the secret of Bhajan. So you may have heard that before, Bhajan Rahasya. And there, it's also in the Gita, 9th chapter, the most secret of all secrets. So Bhaktivinoda explains something very wonderful. He says, the secret of bhakti is that when you become a pure devotee, ecstatic, Krishna becomes your personal companion. That's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. I was thinking about it in the temple when I was chanting before class. Singing, Krishna will become the personal companion of every soul. That's the secret of bhajan. Krishna becomes your personal associate. So that is amazing, is it not? Just like in the Ras Leela, then I was thinking about it, but in the Ras Leela, right, Krishna expands himself to dance with every gopi, right? He's with Radharani in the center of the Ras Leela, but he expands to enjoy with every devotee. So that is the secret of bhajan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. And that's what Bhagavad Gita is teaching us. Huh? It's teaching us philosophy to show us direction, but then now Purushottam Mass is coming, and we're all going to chant 1 lakh every day, maybe. And then Krishna will reciprocate. That's another thing, Bhaktivinoda Jivadharma, he says, a devotee should understand that Krishna is very scrupulous. You know what scrupulous means? Very careful, does everything. He's very scrupulous to reciprocate with a devotee. For example, if a devotee is 10%, Krishna will reciprocate 10%. he will respond to you. If you are 100% a devotee, he respond. He will become your companion. What happened to Bali Maharaj? Huh? Yeah, you surrender, then Krishna. But what happened to Bali Maharaj? Who became his doorkeeper? Sorry? Yes, so Krishna become their doorkeeper, become your personal companion. That's why we are created to reciprocate, to dance with Krishna, just like the gopis dance with Krishna in the Ras Leela. So we are created to dance with Krishna eternally in Krishna consciousness. So we should gain inspiration from that, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So any quick questions? Yes, go ahead. Thank you. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Drishtajumna, yeah. Yeah. So he must have been on the Pandavas side, right? He was on the Pandavas. Drishtajumna. And he's the son of Dronacharya, right? Drupada, sorry. So he is the brother of Draupadi. So we have Drupada, Drishtajumna. And then we have Dronacharya, the big teacher of Drishtajumna, the big teacher of the Pandavas, the big teachers of Duryodhana. That's what can we can learn about Krishna? How do you mean? What can we learn? Who's killing who? Who are you talking about? If he, oh, that's what happens, isn't it? No, Balaram kills Dronacharya. Huh? You mean he's in opposition? You know the story about how Balaram was no, how Drupada. Yeah. So what's your question? Your point? Excuse me. What we learn? Well, that's up to Krishna in the heart. Prakashante Mahatmanam. He will teach you according to your necessity. We learn how to be devotees ultimately. Oh yeah, he shouldn't. Yeah, because that's right. Yeah, Drishtajumna, sorry, is on the Pandava side, but Dronacharya is on the opposite side. So there might be some, and Duryodhana one, hey, you should fight. Yeah, that's interesting. Drishtajumna, the son of Dronacharya, is on the opposite side from his father. So that you can imagine how terrible that is. I'm a father, and there's my son. And huh? Yeah, that. Oh, sorry, Drishtajumna is son of Drupada, not Dronacharya. Yeah, that's right. We're getting it clear. We should have a chart with the birth and. Yeah, that's right. So that's a very. Yes, that's. Huh? Yeah, soft-hearted. Soft-hearted, yeah. Yeah, don't be. You're a man. Kill your friends. That's a demon's idea. Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. So it's interesting to think about this. You get the picture in your mind then.
He learned from Dronacharya, even though enemy side, Krishna, he teach all the various skills. That is his skill. As a teacher, as a Brahmana, he teach.
So say again, Drishtadyumna is the brother of Draupadi. Yes, very clear now.
Drishtadyumna, what we learn from Drishtadyumna, wherever it may be, where the expert available to achieve the goal, he must go on that.
Yeah, but Dronacharya is expansion of Kali. So we can't really accept his suggestions as being valid. Kali. No, Duryodhana is the expansion of Kali Yuga. I've read that. Age of quarrel, hypocrisy. See,
and Duryodhana is not follow. He is always against other one, right?
Yeah, they have a natural propensity, but they don't want to surrender. You see, when they hear, oh, you have to be an eternal servant. I don't want to be a servant. In the material world, I want to be the object of service, right? That is the material I want to be, I want to be Donald Trump.
My question is, from this learning, if someone try to manipulate us from our old wounds, how can we?
Well, we should chant Hare Krishna. But we should have the decision in mind, I'm going to be a devotee. You understand? And then Prakashante Ma, Krishna will guide you in every way. Just like he guided Balaram, guided, you know the story how Duryodhana was killed? You know the story, right? That's right. He broke the. So Balaram, Bhima, he was very strong. His father is Vayu, right? I believe. So he was very powerful. And Duryodhana, though, thought, you're very powerful, but you don't have it upstairs. You're not very smart, because the demon always thinks I'm very smart, smarter than everyone. And they can never admit faults or mistakes, the demon. So he was saying, Bhima's not very. So at the end of the battle, Duryodhana's still alive, Bhima still there. So they had a battle. And so the disciple of Duryodhana. Duryodhana is the disciple of Balaram, and Balaram is famous as the mace. Yeah, so he taught him mace. So, but Duryodhana thought he's very strong, but he's not. He's not as smart as me. And so then they had a big battle, and it was even. Because Duryodhana was smart, and Bhima was strong, so it was like 50-50. But then Balaram was watching, to be impartial, and then he said, hit him here. He gave a sign. Normally, you don't, in a mace battle, you don't break the hips or the thighs of your opponent. You're supposed to hit him on the head or the chest or something like that. That's one of the rules. I don't know. I've never done it. Huh? Is it not below? That's the rule. That's the actual rule. But then Balaram went, huh? Was it Krishna? Oh yeah, Krishna. Balaram's a good person. Krishna, we don't know. And why is this story? This story is, right, because when Dhritarashtra was blind, so Draupadi put on, I shouldn't be superior to my husband in any way. So she put on that. And then, but she developed great tapasya by serving her husband in that way. So then she thought, I'm going to make Duryodhana impervious to Bhima's mace blow. So she told him, come, tomorrow naked, and I will glance upon you and make your body practically indestructible. So Krishna, he's correct about Krishna. He's very tricky, this fellow. Anyway, so in that morning, he met Duryodhana walking naked, right? I said, Duryodhana, what are you doing? I'm going to see my mother. She called me. Why are you going naked? She said, come naked. He said, that's not good. You can't go naked. Put on a gamsha. So Krishna is very tricky. So Duryodhana put on a gamsha, and uh, she went. He went in front of Gandhari. Gandhari. She took off and she put her tapasya into his. Why are you coming with the gamsha? Oh, Krishna said that I should not come naked before you. And then Gandhari smiled. That Krishna. So his body was impregnable above but on the gamsha section, his body wasn't impregnable. So Krishna was also. So he hit him on the, and then Duryodhana was finished. There's also a nice story, one final story of Duryodhana. You want to know the story? In the Mahabharata, he was tired. It's 18 days, but about the 12th day, he was tired of all the, and he was thinking, maybe I just give the Pandavas what they deserve. And he went to sleep in the afternoon. And then the Rakshasas came into him in a dream. And they said, how can you? We've been planning to take over Earth for so many years, and now you want to give it to the Pandavas? This is not good. And they got Duryodhana fired up again to keep the battle going. So it's interesting. He had his Arjuna type moment also. Arjuna didn't want to fight. Duryodhana had his moment. And then, so how does the story go? Yeah. So then Duryodhana, uh, he was encouraged to fight again, but he wanted to stop. He wanted to stop at one point, but the Rakshasas came. No, we made this plan. You have to this. So it's interesting that according to your karma, you will attract different subtle entities. That's why I said we should always stay with sadhus in a holy place, because the demoniac entities find it harder. And also we should not sleep during sunset or sunrise, because that at the juncture of the day and night, that's when the Rakshasas become evident. So if you're sleeping at that time, they can make some impression on your subtle body. So that's what the Mahabharata is. It tells all these stories to give us guidance.
Normally, when these Dhritarashtra's wife, what her name? Dhritarashtra's wife name? Gandhari.
Gandhari.
Eyes for many years, if you open it, will go open.
Well, these are not ordinary personalities. This is Dwarpa Yoga. Sorry? Oh, much good. Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm not an expert on that, but by performing tapasya, you become powerful. So if you have power, you can maybe direct it in this direction or another. Do you see my point? Like, for example, if during Kartik, Purushottam Mass, I chant 64 rounds every day and I don't talk Prajalpa, it's impossible. But but if I can develop certain tapasya, I can get some bhakti shakti, and then I can direct it in certain ways, right? In this way. Perfect. He sat in Mayapur. He chanted 1 billion. Huh? Yeah, 1 billion names he chanted. Yeah, before he started Prachar, yeah, he chanted 1 billion names. So what is Purushottam? It's only 30 days. You have no excuse. So that is where I would understand it. Through her tapasya, she developed power. She wanted to put it into this form on her son. Well, that's why I say Mahabharata is teaching us the attachment between mother and daughter. Drishtadyumna, Duryodhana. Uh, sorry, who's the father of Duryodhana? Dhritarashtra. He's attached to his son. You see, this is the attachment between parents and children is very strong. It's very strong.
He is a very fighting against Pandava.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.